Welcome to GoInspo, to Goinspire, the podcast that takes you behind the scenes of the event production and staffing industry. Join hosts Clay, James, and more as they dive into captivating conversations with industry insiders, thought leaders, and trailblazers. Discover what sets apart the successful from the rest and gather practical tips to excel in your own endeavors.
Have you ever wanted to work concerts, festivals, or big events? We're GoInspo. Download our app, find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Okay, I'm really excited to introduce our next guest, Clayton Curl.
That's me.
He's a beautiful boy.
That's right.
No, we're excited to have him. He's a bilingual influencer, YouTuber, gone full event production and staffing. Clay and I have been working together with events for a long time. He's a huge part of GoInspo and our success. So very excited to have you and just so appreciative of all your hard work and support
Just
over
stoked
the last
to be
few
here.
years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to interview him. You know, there's no way we couldn't interview him because, you know, get into the nitty gritty and learn about all the things. So we're excited. So Clay, I asked everyone, every podcast, what is a tool you can't go to an event without?
There's so many. And I actually brought a little kit, but I'm going to go with handy dandy Sharpie.
Sharpies
Are just underrated, but you always have to write something down, you know, take notes, jot something down, write on your hand. It's the best. Permanent marker, Sharpie. They don't pay me, but they should.
Perfect. Draw little mustaches in case you need to.
Yeah, if someone falls asleep, you can
undercover.
drive a mustache, you know, or if you want to go undercover, you know, drive a mustache.
Yeah. Go undercover.
No, but like totally, if you want to mark something that's yours, you know, you need to mark whatever. Sharpie, having a permanent marker in your pocket's clutch.
Yeah.
We always talk about the other one, so I thought it was cool to go into Sharpies.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. That's awesome. No, I agree. The Sharpie and, you know, back with that blue tape on the Sharpie for producers or anyone that needs to label to put something in a certain zone.
Yep.
Go ahead, use the Sharpie, put it on a blue tape, blue painter's tape, because it doesn't rip off paint from the walls, etc. And go slap that up on a wall or anywhere you need it if you need to explain to someone where something needs to be. It's just taking those quick seconds and doing that is really important, especially when you're in the thick of it. It's going to save you time later on. So
Totally.
The Sharpie is huge.
Communication wins wars.
That's right.
And so, you know, apply that to events. You want to have a successful event? Best way to have a successful event is communicating.
Yeah.
Whether it's the vision, the workflow, to your point, where things go, can't always be everywhere at one point. So,
Yep.
communicate.
Perfect. It's a great tool. Thank you for sharing that. Well, Clay, what? Give us your pitch. Give us your elevator pitch. What makes you tick? You're a busy man. You work a lot of events and do a lot of fun things and a lot of side gigs. And I'm excited to talk about some of the influencer projects you've done and more in your YouTube life. But for now, you know, what makes you tick and all that good stuff.
I don't really have an elevator pitch for myself, but I will tell you what makes me tick. I enjoy the ride. I truly do. And I kind of ask people this question, you know, like, what's your purpose of life? Like, you know, James, what's your purpose of life? What do you think the purpose of life is?
Okay, I'm ready. To improve the quality of my life and everyone around me.
And to your point, I think that's awesome because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, to be happy." My purpose in life isn't to be happy. I don't. Happy is such a weird word. I want to give value.
Yeah.
I want to give value to myself, and I'm recently married, which is a crazy concept of like Maria. Shout out to Maria. Love Maria.
Maria's the best.
Yeah.
She's often a brand ambassador lead for us. We love her. She's bilingual. She can speak Spanish, English.
She's just fun. She's just a ball of energy.
Yeah.
And to back to my point of creating value, you know, I want to create value for the people around me. I want to be useful. I want to be resourceful. And it's kind of, we've had a lot of guests on today. And going back to like kind of resonate on what Chase said, it's really like my dad used to say, figure it out. Huh. And and I took the word from them today being resourceful. I think that's what Nick said. But it's like, that's kind of like our family motto is like, yo, figure it out. If you can figure it out, you can do it. Like, you got it? Figure it out? All right, good.
Yeah.
Go. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes me tick. I want to be valuable and I want to enjoy the ride. There's ups and downs, there's all arounds, but I just want to enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think that's my motto to life. And that's what makes me tick.
Love it. Yeah, there's no doubt, Clay. If you ever get a chance to meet him, you'll be gaining value right off the bat.
I hope so.
In all the ways, he's so good with our clients and our staff and our team across the board. So you're doing it.
Thank you.
So well done.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. Well, make sure you guys hang around because Clay's going to give us an experience. He's going to explain an experience that he had at the end of this interview. So hang out.
Experience.
Cool. We're excited to
I
hear.
had a bunch of experiences in my back pocket.
For now, let's ask you a few questions here.
All right. I'm ready.
So I want to talk a little bit about, you're an influencer.
Right.
So people can find you on YouTube pretty easy.
Totally.
You did a dance and that's what kind of blew it up for you. You did a dance on national television with Miss Ecuador? Miss Peru, or how'd that work? Sorry.
No, well,
I know you're doing a lot then, but
I did. So 2015, I graduated from college.
Yeah, you used to play professional soccer.
And I played soccer at BYU, Brigham Young University, Hawaii, but I also ran cross country at BYU. I was a dual athlete. And so I was always a really good runner, but my passion was soccer.
Yeah.
And after I graduated, I wanted to move to Peru, South American country in Peru. They speak Spanish, which we can talk about how I went to Peru later and learned Spanish. But after I graduated, I couldn't get it off my mind. And I told my dad, because it was kind of an emotional moment for my dad. And I was first generational college graduate on my dad's side. And he didn't have that possibility to graduate college, and nor did my grandpa.
Wow.
And so it was very emotional for my dad. And he was kind of like, you did it. Like, what do you want for your graduation gift? Mm-hmm. And I was like, dude, I want to move to Peru, man. And he's like, okay. And he bought me a plane ticket. I didn't know until I got to the airport that this plane ticket was a one-way ticket. Mm. And when I got there, my dad was like, yo, check out your ticket. And we were actually in Las Vegas for a trade show. My dad has a small business, has a furniture store in Salt Lake. Yeah. We had a trade show for the furniture show in Vegas. So it was Vegas, Mexico City, Lima. So I looked at it. And I'm like, it's like old school. It was like a printed out ticket. Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Mexico City. It looks like a direct, I have to go to Miami and then backtrack. And he's like, you notice it's a one way. And I go, whoa. He went and he told me, he goes, yeah, you told me you want to move to Peru. You're not going on vacation. You're an adult. You're a college grad. The moment you think you can call me for money, delete my phone number. That's literally what my dad told me.
Oh, wow.
Remember who you are, who you represent. Make it happen. Go have fun. And it didn't hit me till I was on the plane. We were taking off. And I still have that picture posted of the airplane. Here we go. I think that's the post on my Instagram. Yeah. Moving to Peru and that whole, and anyone who's ever moved to a different country, moved to a different city or done any big project is kind of like, wow, this is real. I am moving. And in my case, to a totally different culture, country, language, everything. fast forward, that turned into I did everything from music videos to radio shows to played soccer. And then eventually I would always come home. I bought a Sprinter van. And I decked out the Sprinter van before it was kind of like hashtag van life was cool on TikTok.
Yeah.
We did this, and I drove from Utah down to Peru, and then we actually extended into the Patagonia. And after that long drive, I was, okay, I just went through 16 Latin American countries. Here's why Peru is the best. And the Peruvians like, what? This gringo, like, just like loving on Peru, and they loved it. And it went super viral.
Wow.
And that was kind of my niche. My niche was like this North American who immigrated to Peru, who learned the culture, the language, and fell in love with it, and my journey of that. Mm-hmm. And I had, like you said, I grew my personal channel to like 250,000 subscribers. I grew a group channel to 2 million followers, and then another group channel to almost 300 subscribers.
Wow.
And that other channel was when we were living in Miami, and I danced with Miss Universe on Univision, which kind of blew that channel up. But
wow,
yeah, I've done a lot of space in like this content creation and like YouTube influencer world, and I learned a lot from it, and it was really, really fun. Mm-hmm. And I lived in Peru for like almost 10 years, and actually I'm a dual citizen.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a Peruvian citizen and an American citizen.
That's so cool.
So, although I have no one in my family speaks Spanish. Mm-hmm. So,
I think through those experiences, it's just really made who you are. I think it's really cool, your background, taking that leap from the United States to Peru.
Yeah.
And then, creating these channels and creative content out into the world. And now you're doing, events. And I think with your background, and then even working sales with, doing mattress, your dad's furniture company.
Totally.
To content creation, to being an athlete, which is a whole nother topic too, is like, you're like the perfect producer, event production person that I know.
I'm flattered.
To a degree.
That's a huge compliment.
Really good front of house, really good back of house. With the clients, then with the staff in the back, et cetera. But all of those things, it just goes to show you can come from a variety of backgrounds,
totally, and
crush it in the event world for sure. So it's really, really cool to hear that.
I think it just echoes kind of what we talked about with other guests today, or on this show. You never know what it really is going to take, and you kind of just got to make that first plunge.
Yeah.
And you start swimming, and you figure it out, and then you learn a trick, and you learn another trick, and you just keep going. And I think that's the best advice I could give in event space is if you have a positive attitude and you're coachable, you can go long ways in this event space. And it's so cool to be able to work, I know this wasn't even really a question you asked, but you can really work your butt off 15 days and then take off 15 days.
Yeah.
And make a career out of it.
Yeah.
And be part of Messi coming to the MLS and doing a massive production for Adidas and like loving soccer and being part of that and seeing that and getting paid to be there. Mm-hmm. And then taking 2 weeks off to be with your wife and family and take care of your parents.
Yeah.
And I think that's my number one reason why I love working with events. I've loved working with and being part of GoInspo and watching GoInspo go from kind of like a group of friends who are very similar, hardworking, responsible, like crew into this like nationwide, fulfill any need you have in the staffing event space, coast to coast.
Yeah.
And like kudos to you, because like I've literally seen it from that core of like your homies and your brother coming in for Sundance to now like coast to coast, any client, big or small, massive, small. Hey, got a gig. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Of course we can. Let us rock it for you. Have you ever wanted to work concerts, festivals, or big events? We're GoInspo. Download our app, find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, Thank you. Also, I mean, we couldn't have done it without you. It's been an awesome ride. I think back to, why the event world is so nice is, you can work a gig, 10 days straight and then take however long you want and then work another gig. And so for those of you that aren't really working events out there, I think there's an opportunity there if you're trying to have some flexibility in your lifestyle. Of course, it pushes you to be kind of more financially savvy, which is good, in the long run, just so you can, financially plan for that break you're going to take.
Right.
Whether that's a few days or a whole week, or, we've done projects where it's, 4 months straight, nonstop every day, maybe film set or whatever, and then take 6 months off maybe.
Yeah.
Always other projects and stuff, or take on a whole different project. So.
I will say it's a great space too. Anyone who's watching or listening here, it's a great space to like also have multiple streams of incomes, right? You can have a bunch of gigs lined up. You can fill up your calendar, and then based on your calendar filling up, you can say, okay, I'll start a side gig.
Yeah.
Whether Airbnb, Turo, whatever, that space.
Yeah.
Also, I will throw a warning out there. The event space is like high school, where you get a bad rep, it spreads like wildfire.
Yeah.
And so, sure, this sounds awesome. This sounds great. I want to be at festivals, concerts, backstage, Beyonce, Jay-Z, whatever it may be. But also, if you are late, if you're like always caught not trying to work hard, it doesn't go unnoticed.
Oh, yeah.
Because the event space is that. It is 12 days intense,
right,
and then 12 days off.
Yeah.
So.
That's value. That's a lot of good points there. Cool. All right, Clay, I got another fun question for you.
I'm ready.
So Clay, the first time we met was Sundance Film Festival.
Yep.
2018.
2017?
17?
2017, 2018. I don't remember, to be honest.
Well, it's January, so it's kind of hard to know.
It is. That's why it's that blur.
Yeah. So in Park City, Clay's local in Utah, and he came out swinging, just ready to rock. I'm like, wow, this is one of the hardest working guys. He was down for the night shifts. He was ready to rock, and that was the coolest thing. Not that I try to promote this too much, but there'd be nights, it's Sundance, it's wild, and the snowstorms, it's like a crazy production and
totally
limited resources to a degree. But I would hear that Clay, wait, did you sleep last night? Like, yeah, I slept in that closet. He made a bed with cardboard boxes and made a closet. And then a few days later, the hotel manager's like, yeah, he slept in there again. I saw him. I'm like, what is he doing sleeping in there? He could sleep at the spot. But he wanted to be on site, ready to go first thing in the morning. And then fast track, what is it now? 4 or 5 years.
Right.
And I actually had a meeting with that hotel manager the other day, and he brought Clay up. He's like, oh, is Clay still sleeping in that closet? The boxes.
Hopefully not.
Anyways, at Sundance, any event, what was I
remember that specifically.
Yeah.
I remember you had a guy that couldn't make it because of a snowstorm. And it was kind of like, guys, and imagine this. Imagine being on a fishing trip, a fishing boat working in Alaska. Okay?
Yeah.
You got 2 weeks to produce. You got to work your butt off, make money, and then you're going to go do whatever you're going to do. At that time, I was full-time YouTuber in Peru, and I would come home every year for Christmas, and it was my time where I could hustle to make $1. And dollars, obviously, in Latin America go X4 in Peru, for example, the Peruvian sol to the US dollar. And so it was a great opportunity. I was working on doing this massive project in Peru that I wanted to do at the time. And a huge snowstorm came in, and it was kind of like we just worked like a 12-hour day. And James was kind of like resentful, like, guys, a guy can't make it, and we have to have a morning crew. like, who can do this? And it was kind of like, $, $, I can do this. Sure, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a pain in the butt. It's going to suck. But I'm not going to go home. Obviously, the snowstorm. So I found a place, slept in the closet. And from that, I would like to say, I built an awesome relationship with James.
Yeah.
The guy at the hotel still remembers the dude that was willing to sleep in the closet to make it happen. Go back on how I started this conversation, being resourceful, finding solutions. Sure, did I really want to do that? Of course not. I'm not a bum. It's not my favorite thing to sleep on cardboard in a closet. But if it gets the project done, guess what? You're resourceful. You're needed next year. I've worked every Sundance since.
Yeah.
And I think that goes to speak waves. Like, just like anything in life, first impressions are hard. And if you can rock a good first impression, you can prove that you're worthy, you're resourceful and useful. You'll get the call back. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's what it was. It was my chance to like, yo, I'm loving this. I would love that every year I come home for Christmas, I would love to do Sundance.
Yeah.
Sleep in the closet, baby.
Perfect.
There's different applications. Right? You don't always have to sleep in the closet, but that
Right.
was just how it worked that night.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Awesome. Okay. Well, I got some more questions for you. What do we got here? When you show up on site, because you're often a lead for sure. What is the first thing you do for setup day?
Most important thing I do, show up early. You cannot be, there's like no excuse that you can be late. So plan on being there an hour early, because traffic hits, ambulance, dog gets run over, phone call, like anything that could happen.
Yeah.
Could happen.
Yeah.
Plan for it.
Yep.
Never be late, especially if you're a lead. Always be early. And then, if you're too early, walk and no one's there, like your PLC's not there, the client's not there, no one's there. Get to know the space. Like, who is there? Walgreens close. Open up your maps. Is there 7-Eleven close? What's close? What are we around? Where can we park? And then when the PLC gets there and the client gets there, introduce yourself. Most important. Mm-hmm. Introduce yourself. Say who you are, what you're here to do. You're excited to be there. Obviously have good energy, smile. And then set up an ops zone. Ops being, whether you have a little table, depending on the size of the project, you have a table, first aid kit. Dude, go all out. Don't make it I think you had a hot take on this. Don't make it a dinky $10 first aid kit. Mm-hmm. Make it the really nice $150, $200 first aid kit. So, wow, Goinspo's prepared. Mm-hmm. They care. Have snacks, have water, and that's your little op zone.
Yeah.
So when your other people come, let's say it's a PA or a BA, they come, they can put their backpacks there. And it's not like you have all your backpacks everywhere. It's unorganized. No, you have your zone. You got your snacks, treats almost said. Got your snacks, got your first aid. And people say, wow, GoInspo is legit. They're organized and they're here to work. And I think that's the coolest part because, again, in event space, it's like if you're at a movie premiere and you start talking too much about the movie, like, oh, this is just a fan. He just wants to be here for the movie and he's not here to work. Mm-hmm. Of course, you get to participate and see cool things. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're there to work. This is work.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. So I think those things that I mentioned when you get to the site help you establish that.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. Op zone. It's everything.
James taught me that actually.
Yeah. I think it's just important, especially if you have drills. Get your drills charged. Get the tools laid out. Radios charged. Everything ready to go. Because, when it's time, it's time. Things just start rocking. And if you're scrambling through a backpack or whatever may be looking for a tool, that's going to take extra time, cause it to be way more unorganized. So that op zone is massive for first.
Very
first
important.
things.
Very important.
Yeah. Cool. Let's talk about radio.
Radio chatter?
Radio chatter.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about radio chatter. What about radio chatter?
So what are some what's the best way to handle radio?
We did a cool piece of content at Comic-Con in San Diego, but I always like to. I think my mom actually taught me this because my mom, she does theater, and she's like a massive production every year, so that she uses a lot of radio, and she taught me that radio chatter is like hot potato. You don't want to hang on to the potato, or you'll get burned. Meaning, don't be chattering over the radio where everyone has to hear.
Yeah.
I think it's the most important thing about radio etiquette is if you have something to say, like, hey, Clay to James, do you copy?
Copy.
Will you go to channel 5 real quick?
Heading to 5.
Go to channel 5. Hey, James, listen, I got this thing. What's your 20? Let's meet up and talk about this and then figure it out.
Nice.
And then you go back to the main channel, right?
What's 20 mean?
20 is your location, of course.
Gotcha.
And there's obviously jargon, you know. Is that that's the word I'm looking for?
Sure.
Here? You know, what's your 20? Your location. 10-4. Copy. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
What's 10-1? Do you know?
Oh, you got me. What's 10-1?
10-1's going P.
Oh yeah, I do.
10-2 is going
Number 2.
number 2.
Yeah. No, but it's important, you know. Clay to James, do you copy? Like just those little things, you're like, yeah, this dude's worked events before.
Yeah.
Or instead of saying, okay, cool, yeah, got it. No, copy.
Yep.
One word,
Keep it simple.
precise. Hot potato. Stay off the line.
Yeah.
Keep it quick. Keep it short. Everyone does not, especially if you're like in ears, you don't want to be in everyone's ear all the time.
Right.
So hot potato that.
I like that. Hot potato. That's a good way to do it. That's what we'll have at our little meetings prior.
But
Treat it like a hot potato.
to play devil's advocate, you don't want to be the guy that's so shy that never talks also.
Right. And that also, a lot of people are shy on the radio.
It is true.
People are afraid, but like the only way you're going to learn is if you
Try.
Just try. Like I was when I worked U.S. Open Burton Snowboards in my first project on radio, I was extremely scared because there were some super legit people on the radio.
Totally.
Like I want to say something stupid. I don't care, but it took me a day. I'm not gonna lie. I was legit at least a day, and then I just got the hang of it, and I had to jump in. You know, you don't have a choice. If you want to stand out, you want to do something cool, you just got to jump in.
Well, one year at the Zoom Cafe, we were doing for AT&T and best events and all that really cool stuff we were doing for Sundance for many years. Mm-hmm. At the time, I don't know if she was still running for president or had just lost. Hillary Clinton came through.
Yeah, talk to me about Hillary Clinton coming into the space.
That was wild.
What'd they make you do?
Everyone had to sit down on the floor where we were. We couldn't move.
Interesting. Secret Service?
And the Secret Service comes into your radio and like in your ear. So like to your point, this was like my second year at Sundance. So it was like being scared to talk on the radio. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had like an emergency with catering and like I'm a PA lead and like, how do I get on the radio and say this? Who do I call? Totally being nervous on the radio.
Yeah.
And so to play that devil's advocate about hot potato, like, sure, you know, kind of just be a man, figure it out, be resourceful, and just know the jargon, listen for a day, and then just do it.
Perfect. What is the best advice you've ever received?
Oh, my gosh. That's really interesting. The best advice that I've ever gotten, just in life in general,
Sure.
is leave it better than you found it.
Yeah.
It's something that my mom has instilled into my head.
Yeah.
And it even like, dude, it even affects me at like truck stops. Talking about the gig that I drove Salt Lake, Orlando, there and back.
Yeah.
Tons of truck stops. You like go in and like there's water everywhere all over the sinks and no one really cares. And you wash your hands and it's like take 2 seconds, take out like 10 sheets of paper towels and clean the sink or the area around the sink.
Yeah.
Leave it better than you found it.
I like it.
And I think that resonates in every conversation that we've had on this podcast of building community, creating value, bettering people around you, bringing everyone with you. People see that and they go, "Whoa, that guy's a good dude."
Mm-hmm.
Took 2 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not really a good dude. It's really not that hard,
Yeah.
but it's so important.
Yeah.
Leave it better than you found it.
Yeah. And I think that that's really important on a little bit to a leadership degree.
Yeah.
Is say you're even executive producer or, higher up. If you're, we have trash folks there to take care of trash and hopefully there's nothing there. But if you see something on the ground, just grab it. And the point is that whoever is in charge of trash, they might have seen you do that. And they're like, wow, that person's cool. They look up to you and you're a leader. That's what makes you a leader. That's the difference in a leader compared to, anything else. So it's okay. You can just grab a piece of, you see a napkin on the ground, grab it, throw it in the trash. Boom. No one's going to slip on it. Maybe the trash guy's busy in a dumpster down the street 2 blocks away. Like he's not going to get to that. Just grab it. Go ahead. And then someone's going to see you, and that's important.
You can make that application of make it better, leave it better than you found it. Be willing to go the extra mile. I mean, you could take it different ways. It's just something that my mom always installed into my head when I was a little kid is leave it better than you found it.
Yeah. Cool. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Let's move on to the famous 4, baby.
I'm ready.
All right. Is there a habit or trait that you're currently working on in your own life?
Fasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Gosh, I've been so bad since my honeymoon. But I love fasting. So I love doing breakfast. I think breakfast is so important. And then just the 10 years I spent outside the United States and like in that Latin American culture where lunch is the most important meal and dinner is an afterthought. We're kind of like an American culture, like lunch is an afterthought. Like we're so busy at work, go.
Yeah.
Don't stop. We're in a workflow. To then like the dinner is the most important meal. I've kind of just kept that like breakfast is important, really important. Keep my little morning routine, breakfast, and then having a really big, nice lunch, and then fasting to break the fast breakfast.
Cool.
And dude, every time I fast dinner, I feel so good.
Yeah. Nice.
Healthy, light, just in every way. I just feel better, clearer mind. I don't know. When I go to sleep on a fast, I just feel like so much more eager to get up the next day and do everything I need to do.
Yeah, I think, health is number one.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard in the event world to, think about that. You think about the long days and the easy access to quick food, etc. But it's
energy
really
drinks.
important. Energy drinks. Yeah, the whole deal. But I think what's helped me a lot is having that discipline, having that morning routine. Like, hey, I don't get coffee unless I drink a bunch of water and stretch. Like, reward yourself with things. And that just takes a few minutes in the morning, your hotel room or whatever it may be. You can tell yourself, oh, I don't have time for that. But your health is number one for your clients, for your team. And that's just, reward yourself with certain things.
Agree.
Another thing is, you're on the road, get a franchise gym membership. My personal is Core Power. It's hot yoga, sculpt, etc. But you can sweat it out. I mean, you got some gnarly days. Sometimes you're eating a lot of catering food, which sometimes can be healthy, sometimes can't, and that's okay. Or long nights hanging out with clients. You never know. But then you can sweat it out, and there's Core Powers all over the country. Make that a priority so you're sharp and can last in this wild industry.
Pro tip.
Yeah.
Major pro tip.
Yeah. And recently, I got it's called Brazine. It's a back roller, but it collapses so it fits in your bag.
Yeah.
And those long days on your feet, like a good back roll when you get back to your hotel or wherever you're staying, or in the morning,
Clutch.
is huge. It's kind of part of my little health routine is that back roller stretch if I have a second. And if you even have time on site, grab your team and maybe go out into the lawn or whatever you got to do and do a quick stretch. It's usually a good vibe if you got the time.
Well, to your point, having a franchise, national, whatever gym membership.
Yeah.
If you're on a long gig and you're crashing somewhere, go take a shower, sauna.
Yeah, that too.
Selling Christmas trees in New York City.
Yeah, that's a whole nother combo.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a whole nother conversation. I can't wait to share that on this. Well, stay tuned. I'll tell you what. Okay, cool. You do a lot of things: soccer, events, etc. What's another hobby that you're into right now?
Dude, something that people probably don't know about me, that I love, two things. I love wakeboarding.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I love boating in general. Like, I grew up on a boat with my family, and like, just even the thought of boating, which is funny because before this, I was actually just over here on a reservoir on a boat, wake surfing. Just like, it brings back the best memories. It's so much fun with my dad and my brothers and sisters, and I love being on a boat, Lake Powell, just boating culture in general.
Yeah.
Whether it's on a lake or in the ocean, I just love being on a boat.
Yeah.
And then the second would be, I love graffiti.
Oh, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, I'm just, ever since I was a little kid, I was obsessed with
Cool.
urban art, guerrilla art, graffiti, like that whole concept of like, who's this artist? No one knows.
Yeah.
Is it a collective? Is it one person?
A little Banksy style.
Exactly, like Banksy, right? But like most graffiti crews are that.
Yeah.
I don't know, just like that mysterious kind of like, they're so cool. When I was a little kid, I don't know, I've always loved graffiti. And
Yeah.
anyway.
We that just brought up. We did a really quick project with the Banksy Museum.
I remember.
South by.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. But
We had a bunch
same
of
vibe.
PAs and a few BAs.
Yeah.
What was that, two years ago at South by?
Yeah. No, pre-pandemic.
Oh, you're...
No, sorry. First one after pandemic.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What sets apart successful people and unsuccessful people?
Wow. Successful people, unsuccessful people. I would say successful people are the people who seek out mentors.
Amen.
Successful people have mentors, and not everybody is lucky enough. Like, for example, whatever you want to call, whatever word you want to use this, what I'm about to say, I'm very lucky to have a dad be my mentor and be in the capacity of
Legend.
my dad building companies from zero, failing, trying, failing, taking companies public, $1 million contracts. Anyways, to now, he owns a franchise in Salt Lake with a small little furniture business. I can ask my dad, do I do a 1099? Do I do W-2? Do I get this loan? Do I make an LLC here? How do I protect myself? Do I make a trust? Like, everything I just said makes zero sense to someone in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't teach you.
Yeah.
Now, it's a whole different argument whether they should or they shouldn't. But if you don't have someone to teach you that,
Yeah.
you'll be an employee working some job the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it's totally true.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a mentor, and listen, if you don't have my dad, if you don't have a dad, or you don't have a friend, like, also I consider James to be a mentor of mine. If you don't have those people, those circles, there are groups you can find. You can even like pay to be part of like mentor groups. Dude, the internet, bro. How many podcasts are there? How many YouTube channels? Like, don't just use YouTube to watch memes or Twitter to watch memes or Spotify to listen to music. Find a mentor.
Yeah.
Whether it's a book, podcast, or YouTube channel, whatever it may be, find that mentor, and that's what separates unsuccessful from successful.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a great plug on the mentorship deal, and I totally agree. Massive. Again, throw your ego aside and learn and ask questions. It's okay. You got to learn. But you can actually get a free mentor on sba.gov. It's with SCORE. and it's totally volunteer. And I've actually have had 2 mentors. I currently work with one, and he's actually 100% free and amazing. Just go to sba.gov. This is not a plug for them by any means, but it's Small Business Association .gov. But the coolest part about it is I do weekly calls with him, and he's awesome. Got all the experience, has bought and sold companies and done all sorts of cool stuff. And then there's a lot of mentors that just keep trying. Like, they're busy people, so you got to hit them up a lot. You know, persistence is massive. With anything you really want, you got to be persistent. Oh, they didn't answer my email. You email them once? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, is that a joke? Like, you need to email like 5 times and show up. If you show up, no one's going to say no to your face to a degree, right? So showing up is massive. Mentorship or whatever opportunities you want, you're there in person. There's events, actually. When I first started out with Burton Snowboards doing events, I wasn't even hired. I just showed up and just started jumping in, and then I volunteered like for free. I saw that they had some gnarly teardown late at night, and I just jumped in, and then they hired me the next few gigs, and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
So there's a whole nother story with that, but
Pro tip.
anyways.
That's how I got my start in Peru.
Yeah.
I went to some famous ladies' concerts, and I just said, I'll do anything you want me to do for free.
Yeah. For
2 weeks, I worked for free. And after 2 weeks, I sold so many CDs for her that she said, you need to make a cut. So every CD you sell, I'll make you a cut. And that's basically how I, got my start in Peru.
Yeah. That's cool.
I was working for free, volunteering, and then being coachable is so important, man.
Yeah.
I guess you could say also successful and unsuccessful is being coachable too.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, last question. Where can listeners find you online?
Oh, that's a great question. So this is the funny thing. Like, my life online is totally not this. Well, I've been incorporating it a lot lately, but like, my life online is like, you look at it and you're like, what is going on? Because my life online is all in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And it's literally about this dude who moved to Peru. And it's like all Peruvian based. But you can find me at Gringasho, GR3 and GASHO on all platforms. Like LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, MySpace, Grindr. No, just kidding. Tinder. No, I'm married. I'm just kidding. No, but literally, you can find me online, although it's not really related to this event space. I am working on making new socials for kind of doing like, here's my Spanish life, here's my English event space, whatever life.
Sick.
And kind of like uniting those. But that's to be continued.
Yeah. Well, we'll stay in the loop.
Stay posted.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for being on, and
thanks for
I'll see you on the
me,
next gig, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
All right.
GoInspo.
Let's go.
Have you ever wanted to work concerts, festivals, or big events? We're GoInspo. Download our app, find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify. Like, comment, and subscribe.